Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. We are continuing tonight with the Chanchi instructions. How's everyone doing? Any questions? Feel free to ask. Okay, let's continue with Master YongHua's instructions, please.
哪一天有人来，那时候也没有什么电报，也没有什么信呢，都不方便，交通也不方便，来人也不会预先通知你，给你打个电报或者打个电话。
When he lived there, no matter which day, at that time, there were no telegrams, no letters. It was inconvenient. Transportation was also inconvenient.
没有的，咱们有人来，譬如明天有。
No one would give advance notice for visiting. No one would send a telegram or a call in advance.
有多少人，他就告诉你这个做饭。
When there were visitors, for example, some guests would visit the next day.
说明天要多预备出多少个人的饭菜。
He would tell the kitchen staff to prepare extra food for this many guests.
那么果然，第二天把这个饭做好了，菜做好，就有这么多人来。
Sure enough, the next day, the staff prepared meals accordingly, and it would just be that many guests.
不是一天这样，一直都这样。
He wasn't accurate just one time, but he was accurate all the time.
人没来的时候，他就告诉说，你告诉所以预备多几个人饭，所以常常这样。
Before the guests arrived, he would say, "Tell so and so to prepare extra food for this many people." This happened frequently.
咱们一般人更知道这个郎中是有这个先知的能力，所以人更相信。
It is well known Master Lang has the ability of a prophet, so people believed in him even more.
在这个他以后死到这个山里，他的年岁也是85岁。
Later, he passed away in the mountain at the age of 85.
他这个泰山呢，就是他住那个地方，旁边，他住那旁边，他才住那个。
People buried him on Mountain Tai, besides his residence.
Okay, that's at the end of the story of Master Senglang, who was the early teachers who in the history of Buddhism in China. And so at the time, he was well respected and by the local lord, and they he got a lot of support. And this is the details about the fact that he would be able to predict the number of visitors or meals they needed to prepare for the visitors. Because back then, it's very difficult for people to come and visit him. He was given some land in remote areas and tough areas that used to be inhabited by the beasts. And they went away after he moved there. And so for visitors to come to see him and talk to him, they would have to travel long distances, very difficult on difficult terrains. And so, but when they came, they would be able to get enough food to eat because he was able to tell the kitchen staff how much food to prepare. So that's what he was doing. So it's funny, back then, one of his major concerns at the time was to predict how many meals to prepare each day. Okay, and so he's very, very accurate. So he had a reputation of Master Lang, Seng Lang, as to be able to see the future. Okay, Xian Chu is to predict the future. He can see what's going to happen in the future, and in particular when it comes to food preparations. Okay, don't be horribly impressed because the Xian Chu here, the ability to see the future, is limited to your blessings. So they may be able to see the future of how many visitors, but they cannot tell. For example, if it's a reflection of your blessings that you're able to have that ability. So it doesn't mean you're able to see the future per se. You can see certain things that will happen in the future. Okay, so don't be too impressed. But it's a good thing because the old monks back then, and at the time, and that's what they did to make people believe in them. So it's a good thing to do. Okay, but so similarly to Master YongHua, when he came to the U.S., he was an unknown, so he had to reveal certain skills he had, and he chose to heal people. Okay, and he also chose to see the future as well, or to predict whether good things or bad things are going to happen to you. Okay, and so that impressed a lot of people. It's a good thing. Okay, but if you do it too long, there's a drawback. Those people become dependent on him. Okay, they become dependent on his knowledge instead of trying to develop themselves. So he passed away at the age of 85. That tells you that he has very clean life, and he has unlike Master YongHua, he has not much of a burden. Okay, so he lived to be very long. That's how he chose to teach. And they buried him in Mount Hai by his residence. Okay. Any questions about this eminent monk? If not, we move on to the next one.
再讲一位高僧，这一位高僧呢，他也是晋朝的。
Now, I will talk about another eminent monk. This eminent monk was from Jin Dynasty as well.
在长安这个瓦官寺，在这个晋朝，在南京瓦官寺。 他的名字呢叫施法泰。
He lived in Waguan Temple in Chang'an, Nanjing during the Jin Dynasty. His name is Shi Fa Tai.
Quan 在这个晋朝，在南京瓦官寺。他的名字呢叫施法泰，他有2个徒弟，一个叫谭一，一个叫谭二。那么他什么地方人呢？是广东人，广东的东莞。
He had 2 disciples, Tan Yi and Tan Er. Where was he from? He was from Dongwan in Guangdong.
他也是啊，在青年的时候就和这个道安法师做同学。
When he was a young adult, he was a classmate of Dharma Master Dao An.
可是他的这个智慧和辩才没有道安法师那么样高，那么样子的巧妙。
His wisdom and eloquence were not as good or as ingenious as Master Dao An's.
可是他的相貌好，不丑陋，相貌生得很端正的。
But he was good looking and not ugly. He had a handsome appearance.
所以啊，和道安法师正是一个相反。道安法师就最丑陋，他就相貌生得很美丽。
He was the polar opposites of Dharma Master Dao An. Dharma Master Dao An was the ugliest, while he was very good looking.
和道安法师啊，常常在一起。有一次呢，因为当时的时局啊很不太平，他们就逃难。
He and Dharma Master Dao An were always together. However, because of social and political unrest at the time, they had to flee.
逃难呢，这个道安法师带着很多徒弟，他也带着很多徒弟，他带有40多个徒弟。
They fled. Dharma Master Dao An brought many disciples with him. Dharma Master Fa Tai brought many disciples with him, over 40 of them.
然后走到这个新野那个地方，就要分手。为什么要分手啊？在
When they walked to Xingye, they needed to separate. Why did they need to separate?
在一起走人太多了，不太方便。
Because together there were too many people, it was too inconvenient.
Okay, let's stop and revisit this. So this master here that Master YongHua brought up and we're going to learn about is Master Fa Tai, okay, in the Jin dynasty at the time. And He has two disciples, Tan Yi and Tan Er, very original names. Okay? So you can go down Tan Yi, Tan Er, Tan San, Tan Su, Tan Wu. So up to 40, Anyway, it saves a lot of time trying to figure out what the name for the disciples. And he's from the Guangdong area, so it's close to the Canton area, right? Close to Hong Kong area, province. And he was a classmate of Master Chang'an, Dao'an, sorry. Dao'an is a very, very famous Chinese master. And so he was born and trained during the same time. Was bred in the same era. And Master Dao'an was famous for, this is the detail I didn't know, Master Dao'an was famous for his wisdom and eloquence. Okay, so but Master Dao'an drawback was that he's kind of ugly looking, whereas Master Fa Tai was much better looking. So God is fair after all. Okay, it's nice to have compensating talents, but they hang out together, and historically speaking, I don't know if the Chinese can help out. There was some difficult times, but probably unrest, meaning rebellion and so forth in the area, and so they had to flee. Both had to run away from the temples. Okay, I don't know. Does it make sense to run away? I've never had to face the problems. I don't know, but apparently they decided to run away, and they brought many disciples. Master Dao'an brought many of his disciples because he's very famous, very eloquent of a teacher. Master Fa Tai brought Tan Yi to Tan Sushu. He brought his disciples, Tan Yi, Tan number 1, Tan 2 to Tan 40 with him together. And how did they flee? They flee by foot, by road. So they walked. Okay, monks cannot ride horses. By our precepts, we cannot ride horses. So unlike Master Xuanzang, who rode a horse, I understand, from China to India, but traditionally we're not supposed to ride horses. Okay, so they got together. So a good number of them got together and walked quite a ways. And as you can imagine, the times were hard, and there weren't any Michelin guides for restaurants. So they basically went along, and very difficult to try to accommodate so many monks at the same time. They're not used to it, and so they had to separate. Okay, and they had to split up. Okay, all right. So let's continue, please. You have a question here, 8.
Thank you, Master. We have 2 questions from YouTube.
And first of all,
Oh, thank you, Master. Yes, of course. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our YouTube audience who's joining us this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on our road to countless YouTube subscribers.
yes, so much conviction.
Don't give up. Don't quit. Our first question is from Sarah. Sarah asks, Master, you mentioned a few days ago that the money we earn is a form of our blessing. So if we earn too much money, does it reduce our blessing? If so, how do we earn money without reducing blessings?
Okay. Absolutely. From a Buddhist perspective, you may not believe it, and I don't blame you, because most of you are brought up and were conditioned to believing that you should use your brains and your skills to make a living. But in Buddhism, that's your brains and skills are simply conditions, but they're not the root cause of your money. Case in point, a lot of professors very smart, but they're not very rich. A lot of professors are much smarter than most of us, okay? But they're not rich, okay? They're poorer than most of us, okay? So you see, brains are not necessarily the only cause of your success. Your smart, your intelligence are part of the conditions for you to find success in life. Another condition could be luck, sheer luck. Okay, another condition would be, like for the Asians know, Asian wisdom, find good friends. This is how I was brought up. My parents told me in our system is that make sure you find good friends, okay? Because in the future, very much like here, like Master Tao and Master Fa Tai, they are good friends. So they stuck together and they help each other. Okay. So you see, those are conditions for us. But the root cause of your success, of your financial wealth, is blessings. Okay, that whatever you observe here on the top, the apple tree, the flowers have a source underground called roots. Okay, and those are the blessings. Okay, those are the source of the flowers, of the fruits, of the branches, and so you will. So most people in the world don't realize it. They because they're misguided about it. They felt that, for example, it's okay for them to scam others or cheat others and make money as long as they're not caught and they can get away with it. Why not? Because if they didn't, someone else would. Okay, so that's so wrong of them to behave like that or to think like that. Because as far as the Buddhist is concerned, even you cheat others and you're able to get away with it, okay, it's not necessarily good for you. It will not be long-lasting. It could be that you now, if you cheat from someone, if I cheat you, okay, and then I incur debt towards you. Okay? Says, yes, the money comes, but it's not necessarily from my blessings, but from your blessings. I stole it from you, and therefore I owe you for stealing it from you. Okay? And now I take that money and feed my monks and nuns. So the food they eat, the drinks they drink, actually are tainted, are impure. And therefore, it makes it very difficult for them to achieve our way of life of purity, because they depend on impure food, impure resources for their spiritual practice. Okay, so that's why in Buddhism we know better than try to con you, try to cheat you, because we incur debt, and these things we get from you are not necessarily good for us. Okay, whereas in Buddhism we believe that the true source of wealth, the better source of wealth, would be the blessings you accrued in the past. And that first you have your blessings, okay? Your blessings are underground, okay? That cannot be seen. But if you nurture the blessings, okay, with water, with fertilizer, and so forth, intending to the proper conditions, creating a proper condition for the root to sprout, the root to sprout, that's when you get the manifestation of wealth. Okay, and so that's why for us, in Mahayana, we teach you to plant blessings first. Don't worry about it. Plant blessings. And what's number 2? Do good. Absolutely. You see, the pair right there will ensure that good things will happen to you and avoid bad things from coming your way, if you will. So far, so good? Okay? And so, yes, so beware the Buddhists who know better, who are really true believers, should be careful about that. They should plant blessings and do good and refrain from doing bad. Okay? Now, when you do that, there's some cases as brought up by the person who asked the question. Suppose I have blessings and I do good, and now I have so much money. Okay? What do I do with it? Or the question was phrased as, how do I avoid making sure that I don't overdraw? Okay? Well, let me put it this way for you. Okay? There are 2 ways you can do it. Number 1 is you avoid overdrawing because you initiate it. Okay? You decide that when you decide to come to our Saha, where we said, I'm come here to do my things, but I will not overdraw my blessings. So you be poor. And you have enough, for example. Okay, so that you don't waste your blessings. And that's a higher form of blessings, by the way, because you don't allow your blessings to go to waste and save it for the more important stuff. Okay? So many people would be able to, like Master Xinhua and so forth, they would be able, people who cultivate, who have some skills, would be able to say, I will limit the withdrawals to so much only the things I need, okay? But no more, because it's better for my work. All right? That's one way. The other way is for ordinary people who do not have as much as control over it, okay? Because the blessings, for some reason, they sprout in a good condition. You've been doing good and you're a good believer and so forth, and the conditions are ripe so that they will blossom and give you abundant wealth, like many rich people in the world. Okay? It's beyond your control. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So look at it as, don't be so horribly worried if you are able to, before coming here, to decide for yourself, pre-program yourself so that you will not have excessive withdrawals of your blessings, then you'll be fine. On the other hand, for ordinary people who have not as good of a control over their reserves, their blessings reserves, okay, then they can accord with conditions. That's part of cultivation. They accord with condition. They have a lot of money that are withdrawn from the blessings, then reinvest in blessings. So use it to multiply your blessings, okay, so that you get even more blessings. That would be my approach. I hope it's clear. Okay, next question.
Thank you, Master. And we've gained a question, so we have one more after this. Second question is from Lyo. Lyo asks, Emitofuo, Master, my son is sick with the flu. All medical treatments are done, and I already recommended him to recite Medicine Master Buddha. Can I do anything else for him? My son is afraid of dying. I told him he won't die from the flu, even if it seems severe. I'm trying to calm him down. Thank you.
Okay, she can recite Da Ju Do for him. Okay, if she recites for him, he'll get better. So she can recite for him, and he would be less scared, okay? And she can keep reciting until he gets better. She can handle it. If within 2 days of reciting that, you can start by reciting an hour or so, and if or more, if possible. So after 1 or 2 days, and doesn't get better, she could contact us, and we can help the son. Okay, no worries. She's right. He won't die. Hopefully. Next.
Thank you, Master. Okay, third question is from Cordelia Lee. Cordelia asks, Amitofuo Master, the ego is related to sexual desire. If we minimize this activity or minimize the thinking, will it help with our cultivation or kill the ego faster?
Yeah, of course it helps. But it's not, you should not have to be obsessed about it. Okay? It's not the way that you folks are taught. It doesn't work like that. Yes, at the root course, the root source of most of your afflictions is sexual desire. But until you reach that level, you have to address a lot of issues. Okay, that must be resolved before you can get to the root problem. Okay, so I would not be horribly worried about the sexual desires. Okay, like Master YongHua taught his disciple, he said, you should not indulge in sexual desires, and even between husbands and wives, you should even limit that kind of thing. And so forth, be appropriate, and so forth. Very Chinese, okay? Yes, if you're Chinese, by all means do that. If you're American, you don't have to do that. Okay? There are plenty of other things that you should address first that will help you become enlightened, okay? Don't be obsessed with it, okay? It's okay. Okay. My concern is that if you do it the way the Chinese are trained, you will cause a lot of problems with your relationship, with your fiancé, with your spouses, and so forth, which is an impediment to your spiritual practice. Okay, and so therefore, I'm cautioning you, it's not necessarily a thing. Of course, for monks and nuns, they're not supposed to. Yes, 8. That's it?
Actually, we had one more come in, a follow-up question to your answer about money and withdrawing blessings. This question is from Samson Lau. Samson asks, Hi, Master. How can someone control how much blessings they withdraw from worldly things like wealth? Is there a general rule of thumb to gauge how much blessings you have so that someone does not overdraft their blessings account?
You don't know. Basically, you have a lot of blessings for you to be able to hang on to Mahayana, to have access to Mahayana. You have tremendous amount of blessings. For you to be able to come and join us, which is incredible blessings. And for you to be able to listen to the Dharma and not be alienated by it, you have tremendous blessings. A lot more than you realize. Okay? So intrinsically, if you listen to Mahayana, you follow Mahayana, you have a lot of blessings. No two ways about it. Okay? Huge amount of blessings. And so I caution you, mere fact you have a lot of blessings doesn't mean they will mature quickly enough. Be careful. Okay? So that's why, remember, it takes two to tango, is the expression. You need blessings, you need to have conditions for the blessings to ripen. You cannot say, I'm rich, so I made it. No, you have a lot of blessings, but you still need to do things, the right things for the blessings to mature, to benefit your own path, your own practice. Okay? And for example, you have a lot of blessings, but these people then turn around and go and cheat people and steal from others and so forth. Those are the blessings will mature, not the good blessings. And they get in bigger and bigger and bigger trouble, and they will fall. Okay? Whereas you have to be careful. So you have these good blessings here. You have a mixture of good blessings and bad blessings. What are bad blessings? Bad blessings are the blessings that you accrue from doing bad stuff. Okay? Like you aid the demons in their destructive behavior. Unwittingly or on purpose, okay? Doesn't matter. If you do destructive things, okay? You are having credit with the bad blessings, so that in the future, the demon will come and give you special help and special attention. Okay, so that means that, for example, in the future, when you feel like doing drugs, for example, the drug demons will come and say, "Hey, no problem, enjoy yourself." That's bad blessings. Is that clear? It's always two sides of the coin. So be careful. You have good blessings and bad blessings. So for you to be able to keep on listening to Mahayana, whether you're a demon, you're a regular person, it's because you have good blessings. Okay? And so make sure that you do the good things, so you don't have to worry about that you have enough blessings. But make sure that now you are in the circles, in the vicinity, then make sure you plant and you create conditions that are conducive to more good blessings to mature for you to continue to progress. Okay, and take advantage of it. Because our outside world is rather dangerous. You may be right here, right now, but your bad blessings should mature and pull you away from it. Okay, that's the nature of cultivation. It's not guaranteed in the Saha world. In the Pure Land, you'll be safe. You have nothing to worry about. But in a Saha world, it's slightly different. Okay, in that you need to be more judicious, and if you do it right, you progress a lot faster. All right, and so you have a lot of blessings already. Continue to plant more blessings, and that's how the Chinese Mahayana people are taught. Plant blessings, come to the temple, planting blessings, and so forth. That's a good teaching, fundamental teaching. But what they're not teaching enough is the second part. Avoid doing bad things. Do only good things. In that order, avoid harming others. Avoid fighting, like Master Hsuan taught us. Don't harm. Okay? Don't be greedy. Okay? Don't seek and so forth. You avoid those things, you're creating more blessing. You're creating conditions that are conducive for more good blessings to mature to help your practice. That's the key right there. Okay? So don't think a Chan practice alone, like most people, they are misguided into thinking a Chan is simply crossing your legs. No. Chan is about, now you're able to come to the temple and practice Chan with us. Be careful about the 7 principles. That's how you ensure that more good blessings will mature to help you in your spiritual practice. In particular, in our environment, be very careful. You do all those things, but you need to be mindful of what Master YongHua said. Okay? Don't lie. Don't fool others. Okay? That doesn't help you at all. It will be a severe obstruction to your developing your wisdom, especially in our times. Okay? There's a tendency for everyone to tell a white lie or small lie and so forth. As long as you can get away with it, you're safe. No. When you cultivate, you want to be as straight as an arrow. Okay? If they're offended by it, apologize. But don't lie, don't manipulate. Okay? Any questions? Did you have a question here too?
네, 감사합니다, 마스터. 저한테 친한 언니가 있는데 그 언니는 만날 때마다 선물을 사주고 맛있는 것도 많이 사줍니다. 또 먹는 것도 좀 비싼 거를 많이 사주는 편이고 엄청 잘 챙겨주는데 처음에는 좀 부담스럽다가 나중에는 그냥 저 사람의 마음이 그러고 싶으니까 그대로 받아야 되겠다 하고 받으면서 저도 가끔 제 선에서 최대한 선물을 하고 밥도 사주고 있는데 빚에 대해서 이렇게 또 많이 배우다 보니까 갑자기 좀 마음이 불편해지고 부담스러워졌습니다. 제가 그 언니한테 어떻게 해야 될지 알려주세요.
Master, I have a close friend and I call her sister. What happened is she's really nice to me. We meet together and then she would give me gifts. And then when we go out to eat, she pays for expensive food for me. So she really takes care of me. At first time, I was a little bit uncomfortable. But as the time goes, then I accepted her kindness. I thought it was such a nice thing. So now we're talking about the debts you're owing people. So going back to this, our relationship with this sister, I feel rather uncomfortable. Do you have any suggestions for this? Thank you.
Yeah, it happens a lot in the real world, right? You get together with friends, and the friends like you a lot, so they say, let me take care of the bill and so forth. That's very commonplace. I wouldn't worry about it, okay? If the offer is made sincerely, they really care, it's a good thing, okay? There's nothing wrong with owing your friend. If it's a good person who he did it out of our sincere heart and they really care for you, it's okay. In the future, come back and marry her. Just kidding. Okay? I don't want you to live so fearful because we know you know more doesn't mean you should be around. I don't want to owe you and so forth. There's nothing wrong with owing others if it's done out of kindness. And they care very much like your mother cares for you. You can't say that I don't want to owe my mother, okay, and so forth. So to me, it's so nice to be able to do that, okay, to be able to share something, and so if she cares for you, instead of worrying about it, I would do something back to show that I care for her, to take care of her. She takes care of you by taking care of the bills and spending time with you, giving gifts and so forth. Okay, that's called worldly blessings. What you have that probably will outweigh that is spiritual blessings, transcendental blessings. So give her some transcendental blessings. Okay? So on one hand, you can accept the money and so forth, and going out to eat and so forth. On the other hand, you can simply give her a medicine master temporary plaque, for example. Let me tell you, you do that, it far outweighs everything she spent on you all this time. Okay? So that's why, to me, I would not be obsessed, like I don't want to owe someone. In return, if someone is nice to me, okay, and that's really sincerely, they want to be nice to me and help me, okay, like family, okay, then as a family, I would reciprocate by helping them get things that they cannot get, okay? So I would give her transcendental blessings, okay? And then you come out ahead. All right? Did you have a question here too?
감사합니다, 마스터. 저기 시누이가요. 37년 전에 그 정신분열증 앓다가 결혼했거든요. 괜찮아가지고. 그런데 결혼하고 아들 하나 놓고 자살했습니다. 그런데 조계종 절에서 천도제는 많이 해줬는데 제가 어떻게 더 해줘야 될 게 있나 싶어서요.
Master, I had a sister-in-law about 37 years ago. She was diagnosed with a mental breakdown, but somehow she got married and then she had a son, but she eventually died. Of course, with the Joge order, they requested liturgy, like ceremony for the deceased person, for them to go to the better world. But in my situation, do you think I should be able to help her more?
Yeah, you could. Oh, let me finish. Also, very simple. I'll give you an example. You can go to one of three big temples in Korea, in your country, and request, let's say, sponsor something like a tile on her behalf. Okay? So I want you, because you're young, I want you to live without any fear. When people are nice to you, okay, if they really mean it and they have no ulterior motives, okay, accept it. It's okay. Don't be so scared. And then reciprocate, being kind to them again. So the kindness goes around instead of us being so fearful. I don't want to owe you. I don't want to waste my blessings, so forth. Oh, that's childish. Live, okay? Enjoy life. Live freely. Live without any fear, okay? In your case, your sister, what? In-law?
Sister-in-law, yes.
Sister-in-law, okay. And she killed herself? Okay.
네, 자살했습니다.
Yeah.
Yes, Master.
Yeah. And in her case, even though you gave her some help, she's not doing well. Usually, for many people who kill themselves, I see them as being in dire straits. Okay, they're not doing well at all. They become hungry ghosts. Many of them become hungry ghosts. Okay, and they're very miserable. In your sister-in-law's case, she's not doing well. Okay, but it's not as bad as most cases because of the help from the temple. So you help a little, but still not enough. Okay? Anyone else? Did you still have a question?
그래서 제가 할 수 있는 게 무엇인가 알고 싶습니다.
So, Master, I'd like to know what can I do for her?
Well, how long ago did she die?
네, 네, 목사님한테 안수기도 잘못 받아가지고 그때 그래도 37년 전에 그랬어요.
목사님을 뵈러 갔는데 뭐가 잘못된 거예요?
아니 교회를 다녔는데 목사님한테 안수기도를 받고부터 사람이 이상해졌어요. 교회에서 하는 게 있더라고요. 뭐 예, 머리에다가 뭐 하고 뭐 한다더라고요. 그 후에 예, 생겼다가 괜찮았다가 결혼했거든요. 결혼해가지고 한 1년 만에 아들 낳고 좀 우울증 증세로 해서 자살한 거예요.
그 전에 이미 정신불이
네,
있었는데
네,
다가 그렇게 된 거군요.
네, 네.
So she already had that mental breakdown problem, but what happened was she visited church. She's a churchgoer, and the priest from the church did a special prayer. And then after that, she was okay. So she got married, and a year after, she was able to have a son. But then the depression came back, and then she killed herself.
Yeah. Then you went to Jogi Order Temple to get her some post-death help, right? Okay, that worked. It helped a little. But that's a severe case. When you have someone who kills themselves, who commits suicide, it's a pretty severe case. And you need more help than that. So she's not doing well. Okay? Should get a rebirth flag for her.
좋지 않은 상황이라서 왕생 위패를 올려.
Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. We have YouTube comments pouring in.
And offline, tell me which temple you went to. I'm curious. Okay.
And to our 53 live audience members, if you find this Dharma talk helpful, I would really appreciate it if you like, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm going to ask.
Amen.
I'm going to ask the questions a little out of order to keep us on topic. We have 3 questions. So based on what we're just talking about, we have a question from Robin's Nest. Robin's Nest asks, Amitofuo Master, I have a question. I apologize if my question seems dark. My father took his life 5 years ago, and I think about him all the time. How would you recommend passing blessings to the dead, as in our beloved dead relatives, maybe in the hungry ghosts or hell realms too?
What did, when he passed away, what was done on his behalf? I'm curious. Okay, while Robin's Nest is getting back to us, we can go to the second question.
Thank you, Master. Okay, while Robin's Nest is responding, from our previous topic, Sarah follows up. Can our blessings be spent simultaneously on both our cultivation and accumulating wealth, or is it usually working only on either?
Good question. I'm of the belief, and it's just common sense, that you need to generate both worldly blessings as well as spiritual blessings. Okay? You shouldn't just say, I want to do blessings, have blessings to help me become enlightened only. That's not enough. Okay? Because we have obligations. You are lay people. You need all sorts of blessings in your life. Okay? And therefore, it's okay. You should have both spiritual blessings as well as worldly blessings. It's just the middle way. Okay? So how do you do that? Blessings is to help others. So when you have a chance to help others, just help. Don't say, is this a spiritual thing or is it ordinary things? Just help. Be kind. Be nice. And don't discriminate anymore. Say, I need more spiritual things and so forth. Okay? Accord with conditions. When we're able to help, help. Okay? All right.
We're still waiting for Robin's Nest to respond with some details. So next question is from Daniel Wisniewski. And I'm going to do my best to ask this as we've been going back and forth a bit. Daniel is generally asking, is it allowed, is seeking women allowed for Buddhists? As in, is seeking wanting? Because seeking can be anything, right? So wanting things isn't the way?
It doesn't work like that. We live in our world. Where we live is a place where we have desires. We're here because we decided we had to come here to fulfill our desires. We want things. That's why we chose to come here. Part of which is we want to pay back our debts. We want to take care of our parents and take care of our children. And that's natural. It's a good desire. Okay? And in order to have children, you need to have sexual desire. No? What do I know? Okay? I'm the last person you should, look as an authority on the topic. But the point here is that don't be so obsessed like the Chinese like to teach you, especially Master Hsien. I disagree with him on this. He says, you have sexual desire, you're a bad boy, you're a bad monk, and so forth. So when I have sexual desire in me, and I said, no, I don't have sexual desire because Master Hsien says it's a bad thing, so I cannot be human. Sexual desire is something that pops up because of the attachment, because of a lot of factors that occurred so long ago. Okay? Because for us to deny it or to suppress it is sometimes not necessarily a good thing. Okay, so for Mr. Wisniewski, he's a lay person. He should not be so horribly obsessed with suppressing sexual desire. We should not seek it, not fan that kind of desire. Okay, that's what he ought to do. But he should not feel guilty or anything. It's just being human. Okay, and don't indulge so much. As far as sexual desire goes, try not to indulge. That's all. Okay? And that's all I can think of. I'm the last person you want to talk about it. Want to ask about it. Okay? But good luck.
Thank you, Master. Robin's Nest has responded, but I just feel like if Daniel were here at Way Mountain Temple and he were part of our Dharma brother conversations, I would share with him that when I met my future wife at Blue Mountain Temple, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me, if not the best. So,
Amen. So how's your sexual desire nowadays?
Well, I would say I'm falling.
Everyone's laughing. Naughty girls.
I would say I fall more into the American school of approach than the Master Hsien.
Okay.
Okay.
You are American anyway.
Okay. Robin's Nest follows up. So Robin's Nest responds, Emitofuo, thank you so much, Master, for answering. My father had no funeral. His body was cremated, My mom still possesses his ashes in a shoebox. My father's siblings have also only visited us once since he died. He died, this was 5 years ago for reference, to pass their respects. They don't speak to any of us. I'm not close with them, and they do not like me because I'm transgendered.
It seems like her late father was not a bad person. That's my impression. And therefore, but he chose to kill himself probably because of depression. And so it's too bad. But he's not doing well. He's especially if you don't get help, he's supposed to be doing a lot worse than he is, but he's not doing well. Okay? All right, anyone else? Yes, in the back. Hey, we need to move the lights up there because I cannot see in the back that much because they're blinding lights. Okay, move them up. Move up to that rafter right there, the thing, the bar across there. Okay, on top. Then it's not as blinding. Like in theaters, they shine the lights from very far up so that they will not blind people's eyes. Okay, eventually. Yes, we have lots of small projects. Yes, go ahead in the back.
Master, I just have a question. When you say that do not indulge in the sexual desire, do you have a recommendation for that? As in, like, how many times or?
Don't do it excessively. That's all. Okay? Cultivation is about moderation. I don't want, the way that I heard from Master Hsuan disciple is that, it's just a bad thing, I have sexual desires. And I felt guilty too. To be honest, he said, I'm such a bad person. Okay? And you're confused. You said, what am I supposed to do? This just pop up. What are you going to do? Okay? And and then later on, I looked down and understood how to deal with it. Okay, well, that's why I feel that Master Hsuan's teaching is more directed towards his disciples who were hippies back then, who were self-indulgent. Therefore, they were indulging in that too much. In his time, I was here in San Francisco. It's a hippies' time. They're flower girls and wheat boys. Okay, and so they're excessive. They were excessive in self-indulgence, and therefore it's not a good thing, definitely. But I don't think it's meant to say that you should deny it and feel guilty and so forth. Okay, it's a lot of reasons why we have sexual desire. Okay, and to deny it or to suppress it excessively, okay, it's not cultivation, let me tell you. It will not fix it at all. Okay? And so, what else can I say? It's funny, when I first started, I remember this. There was a non-practicing Korean lawyer who came to the temple. And he liked us for some reason. He read the books. Every time he would come to Lu Mountain Temple, he would bring this stack of books, and he would read. Okay, he would talk, he would speak Dharma. He would stand there and listen a little bit, and then he got bored, and he started reading his books. He would sit in front of the stone tables there in front of the Lu Mountain Temple. He would read his book. He's very, very voracious reader, and he liked us for whatever the reasons. And then he would give us a lot of things. He brought us water, Korean soft drinks and so forth. And one day he said, he was very kind. He brought us some frozen mussel clam. He said, "This is very good, Master. You should eat it." After 3 months at the temple, he decided he liked us, so he gave us some frozen mussel clams. And they're good. They're so big, you know. and Xianshun, you remember that? Korean non-practicing lawyer.
Frozen Korean seaweed.
Seaweed and mussel clams. You weren't there when he gave me the mussel clams. And so I said, I'm sorry to tell you we are vegetarian. He said, don't worry, just put it in your freezer. Eat it later. And so he began to like us more and more and more every day. Then one day, I started joking about sex. And I shouldn't have it. And his face became so disappointed. He said, I can't believe it. You're a monk and you're talking about sex. He left the temple. Never heard of him again. Now you're asking me about sex constantly tonight. It's too much. Yes, continue.
Thank you, Master. And Robin's Nest would just like to follow up and says, thank you so much, Venerable Master, for giving confirmation on my father being unwell. However, my question is, what can I do to pass down blessings to my late father?
You can go to the temple. You need some Buddhist help. The non-Buddhists, they cannot help in this case. You have to go to a good temple, a strong temple. Unfortunately, the Hinayana temples will not be able to help. This is too severe for them. And you need to go to regular Mahayana temple, would not help either. For example, because they need to intervene on his behalf so that he gets some protection, some help. Okay, but go to ask around wherever she is, and go to Mahayana temples and get some help. Give him some help. Ask for the temple to say prayers for her late father and so forth. Okay, and see, and it would help. Any little bit that she can plant blessings at those temples would help her late father. Okay, the more the better. Yes, next.
Thank you, Master. We have a new question from Nick Lai. Nick Lai asks, why is generosity the initial step toward the Bodhisattva path?
Because it is. You have a better way to do it. Feel free to do it. This is how I learned it. This is what worked for me, what worked for my disciples, worked for a lot of my students, a lot of my non-disciples. So it worked for us. But if he can find a better way to do it, by all means, go for it. Okay? We are not the sole repository of knowledge and how to cultivate. He's free to find better ways to do it. It just worked for us better, that's all. I'm no patriarch, I'm no bodhisattva, I'm just only sharing with you what I learned and what worked for us, okay? But may not work for him. Anyone else? 2.
네, 마스터, 선칠 때는 화를 내지 말라고 법문 때 한번 말씀을 하셨는데 자세하게 좀 듣고 싶습니다.
Master, I remember that you mentioned about during the chanchi, do not be angry. Would you explain a little more specifically about this? Thank you.
Okay. During a chanchi, the chanchi is the time where whatever you do, your practice will enhance your chan skills tremendously. This is a time when you come and you join us, whatever you do. Some people bow, some people read sutras, some people meditate, some people recite mantras and so forth. Okay, this is a time you do it where it will help build your Chan skills very fast. The Chan we practice is not necessarily limited to counting breath or metta contemplation or impurity contemplation or Huatou, whatever. We have a whole wide list of variety of things you can do. You can fast, you can, a lot of things. Because once you understand Chan, it's not as narrow as simply Huatou or looking at your breath and so forth, okay, or mantras alone. It's all those things, okay? It's a lot more behind a Chan practice than people realize. If you listen, for example, to our Avatamsaka Sutra lecture in chapter 1, for example, we've been talking about the world rulers, how they became such big shots in the worlds and they rule over us. It's because when you look at how they became there, you see that they don't necessarily do things like recite a great compassion mantra or whatever, the way we train you. Because at your low level, this is what we're building for you with some tools, okay? And help you build the foundation for you to go much higher and very, very, very high up, okay? During this time period here, during a Chanchi, especially when you're working with us, whether it's online or during or here physically at our way places, okay? Then there's one drawback, there's one thing you need to watch out for, which is in conflict with your Chan practice, is to get angry. So this is a time where you have to remember, during your Chanchi, if you get angry and you feel so justified being angry at someone else, okay? Don't get angry. That's all you have to do. You don't need a reason. The only reason you need is that because I told you so. Okay? And if it keeps coming back, look at that, I can't, this is unfair, this is so forth. Well, you have plenty of reasons, you keep on coming up and coming up. All you have to do is sit there and look at all these excuses you're coming up for to justify you're losing your temper and getting angry at someone. Okay? Just sit there, okay, and do nothing. Don't act upon those thoughts. That's all you do. It's that simple. You don't need a reason. The only reason you need is because I said so. If you do that, you'll be fine. And of course, most of you will not listen to me. Most of you will blame your neighbor for snoring, and all sorts of reasons for you to be angry, to be upset. Okay? But in particular, some of you will say, it's my fault, therefore they get upset at me, and so forth. It doesn't matter, okay? You should not get angry, no matter what the reasons are, no matter how well justified it is. Okay? That's all. That's all you have to remember. And that's the Chan training for now. Okay? After you're done with Chanchi, get angry all you want. Just delay it. I'm not asking for a marriage here. I'm asking you for just to drop it during this time period. Okay? Anyone else? It's very manageable, that's all. We're not talking about forever. Just for the next 5 weeks, 10 weeks, don't get angry. Just look at yourself, okay? No matter what, don't get angry. If that person is so evil, doing such real evil things, don't get angry. That's all. Can you do that? That's all. Try and try and try. You get angry, you fail. Okay? Try again. All right, anyone else? All right, continue, please.
所以道安法师啊，就叫这个法泰法师啊，向这个东南那方面走。他呢是带着他徒弟向西北走。
So Dharma Master Dawan told Dharma Master Fa Tai to walk southeast. He himself took his disciples and walked northwest.
在临临分手的时候啊，他对这个道安就说法师你呀，这个依归西北。
When they were parting ways, he told Dharma Master Dawan, Dharma Master, show your etiquette and conduct in the northwest.
就是啊，给西北的人呢做一个榜样，做一个法师。
This meant for him to be a role model and Dharma Master for the people of the northwest. 下座弘教东南，说下。 The junior will expand and teach in the southeast.
座我就是这个上座，这个开戏；下座我在最小的那座位上。
I, as a junior, opposite of the senior high seat, sit in the lowest ranking seat.
我要到东南呢，那个地方去弘扬佛法去了。
I will go to the southeast to propagate the Buddha Dharma.
在这个我们在这个世界来弘扬佛法啊，大家彼此不要忘了。
We're propagating the Buddha Dharma in this world. Let's not forget about each other.
你要帮助我，我要帮助你，互相帮助。
You will help me, and I will help you. We will help each other.
那么将来呀，到这个极乐世界，咱们再去相见去，到极乐世界相见。
And in the future, we will meet again in the land of ultimate bliss. We will meet in the land of ultimate bliss.
说完这话，两位法师就分手了。
After saying that, the two Dharma masters went their separate ways.
Okay. Let's revisit this. Yes, 3.
Master, I found some information about the times they are in. So they are in the latter part. This is from Wikipedia. They are in the latter part of the Qing dynasty, so the south part of China at the time is relatively more peaceful. It's ruled by the Qing dynasty, and then the northern part is there's like 16 power players in the area, so there's a lot of conflicts in the area.
Interesting. Oh, thank you for the information. That's interesting. Yeah, and so going back to slide 142. So they decided to split up. And the Master Tao An was in charge. He made a suggestion. Okay, so he says, you go southeast, according to the information here, meaning that area is relatively safer, more peaceful, less dangerous, whereas Master Tao An would go to a more difficult area to practice. Okay, so Master Tao An, interestingly, Master Tao An, who is the one who gave instructions to Master Fa Tai. Okay, so you see the nature of their relationship. They're pretty good like Dharma brothers. And therefore, Master Tao An wanted to take care of his Dharma brother, Master Fa Tai. So advised him to go to an area and to the proper area that's more suitable for him, and even told him what to do, what he's supposed to do. What he's supposed to do is that he's supposed to yi wei. Okay, yi wei, meaning that there are certain comportments that monks are supposed to have. Okay, because that's how the Buddhists are. They judge us, monks and nuns, by how we can carry ourselves. That's part of our Vinaya. Part of Vinaya you learn is that there's the awesome comportment that Master Shema would like to emphasize to his disciples, where you stand straight at a pine tree, straight up, okay, and you walk like a breeze, okay. You walk by someone, and they can't even feel the wind move, okay, at all, okay. So like it's very soft spring breeze that comes very softly and gently, and you don't even feel anything. Okay, this is why, by the way, when I turn on the fan during this in the summertime, I put it on the silent night, on the Rowenta fan, so that is like a soft breeze. Okay, so you only have a breeze, and then you have to endure the heat, and then the breeze will come back, and you endure the heat. So that's all that's all you get. Otherwise, most people, I notice in Korea, for example, they put a fan right behind them and they blow it at them. No, you're supposed to endure it. That's part of the training. Okay, endure the heat, endure the cold. It's just a little bit. Okay, all right. So he says, Fa Tai, you should pay attention to your awesome comportment and follow the rules. And this is what monks and nuns are supposed to do, to help each other. So at that time, Master Tao An had the wisdom already, and he could recognize that Master Fa Tai could use his help. That's why he said, this is what you have to do. And that's what is that called? He acted like a good, knowing advisor. He says, your path of cultivation is pay attention to how you carry yourself. Okay? Because Master Tao An is very good with speaking Dharma, very eloquent, have wisdom to fix people's problems. Master Fa Tai is not as eloquent, as wise in helping solve people's problems. So how does he help propagating Buddha Dharma? By behaving as in a very dignified and sublime, superior way. Okay, and that's, by the way, that's what the Korean Sunims do. It's how their disciples judge the Sunims by how they carry themselves. Okay? And the same thing, the Taiwanese as well. I noticed the younger, my generation or my master's generation, a lot of Taiwanese monks, they behave themselves with this by this awesome comportment where you walk a certain way, you stand a certain way, and you sit a certain way. You sit in full lotus, for example, like you sit like a bell. Okay, and that's that he's talking about. Okay, so he says, that tells me that Master Fa Tai is at least a third stage Arhat. So his comportment is very impressive. Most likely, Master Fa Tai is, we probably will find out more later, he's probably a fourth stage Arhat. Okay? That's what Hinayana people do. They pay attention to the comportment. Okay? And Gui is do not break the rules, follow the rules. Meaning this guy is pretty rigid. And the range is limited, that's why you need to be rigid. Okay? All right. And so for him to be a role model, not a role model, but Bang Yang is that to set the standard of how a monk should behave. And that's in the Korean culture, in the Taiwanese culture for Buddhism. Okay, that's stressed that a lot. Until Master YongHua came along, he says, I don't need to stress this. Okay, yeah. But anyway, he taught that to his disciples, when Master YongHua doesn't do the standard because his standard is so much higher. You're not supposed to see it. And that's what my generation doesn't understand yet. In Mahayana, you have this that comportment, okay, that's good for the monks and nuns to have, okay, that's only half of it. The other half is Master YongHua's comportment, where there's no more marks, becomes markless. On one side, you have, it's easier for the disciple to see a certain comportment, awesome comportment, so that they can see this person has cultivation, has samadhi. Okay, you reveal it, okay, for the low-level people. But when you do that, like many Sunims do in Korea, many Taiwanese monks do, and so forth. Okay, Vietnamese monks do. Okay, when you do that, okay, it helps with the low-level disciples, but you won't be able to impress the higher-level disciples. And Master YongHua is the one that really taught us the middle way right there. He taught his disciples to do the awesome comportment, but he himself doesn't follow that. He's a very, very relaxed, very low-key. No one can tell he's a high-level monk at all. Okay, and that's the middle way in the Buddhist comportment annals. Okay? Yeah. So Master Fa Tai was told by Master Tao An that he should set an example, set a standard of behavior for a monk. And that's how he would help spread Buddhism to his area. And then he says this junior, 下座, is Master Tao An refers to himself as 下座, meaning that when you sit below someone, okay, 座 is seat. 下座 meaning that your seat is lower. Okay, so for example, if you're a bodhisattva, because Master Tao An clearly is a bodhisattva, he has far more wisdom than Fa Tai. And so if you're a bodhisattva, okay, then you have a lotus days where you sit on wherever you go, okay, the big shots have this, okay. And then the junior ones would be at a lower level, it's not the same height and a smaller size and not as adorned, for example. Not because by design, but naturally because that's how their blessings manifest themselves, okay? So the Mahasattvas, the Guanyin Bodhisattva, and so forth, their lotus days where they sit is extremely adorned, okay? And then her attendants, her retinue would be sitting, who are also Mahasattvas, would be sitting in less adorned because that's all they could afford. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. But maybe I understand falsely the slides, but I think it's Master Fatai who tells Master Dawan to behave like a special monk in the north and not otherwise.
Really? Double check for me. Okay. Thank you for pointing it out. Okay. Double check the Chinese for me. Okay. So anyways, one of them says the other. Okay. Usually the ugly ones are the better kung fu. It's the nice-looking ones that people will like me immediately. But when you're ugly, you have to work harder for people to believe you. So you need more wisdom. Okay. Usually it's the case. And so, Master, can you double check, please, Chinese-speaking people? But I'm glad you pointed it out for me. So, Master Dao continues, I'm a xia zuo, meaning I'm a low level than you. And that's a Chinese way of saying, of humility, okay? It's Chinese. I feel in the U.S. we don't have to do that. It's just like you and me. It's very casual. You don't need to compare. You higher, I'm higher, I'm lower, and so forth. There's no need for that. Okay? No need. Relax. Okay? High or low, let the disciple decide. We don't have to say I'm lower than you. Okay? It doesn't matter. And so I am the lower level than you. So Chinese-speaking people, can you double check? You didn't get it? You didn't get the objection? He felt that according to him, he says the instruction came from Master Fa Tai giving to Master Tao An. Is that correct?
Yes, it's what I read in the slides.
In the slides.
Because he tells him he must go north, and north, Dawan was the one who was going north, and himself was going south.
Check the Chinese. I let the Chinese sort it out, and with the Spanish, Yeah? Sorry?
So I think he's referring to slide 143, that when they were parting ways, he told Dharma Master Dawan, meaning implying that the Dharma Master Fa Tai told Dharma Master Dawan.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So I'm the one who's wrong, not the slides. Thank you very much. What's your name again, son? Don't you know better than correct your master when you just join the order? What is this with the professors? They have to be accurate? God. Never mind. Okay. So let me correct. Okay. So he says, So Taoan is ugly but it has good etiquette. Okay, I can switch it around as well. So you're ugly looking, therefore you don't have a lot going for you, so impress others with your comportment. Does it work for you?
I think it's a kind of admiration for the teacher. From Fatai to Dawan.
Could be, yeah.
Please, Master, show how good you are in the north. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I take it back. Okay. Erase it. Okay. No Dharma glimpse of this section tonight. Take it easy. Yeah. Sorry. It's my mistake. I should have read it more carefully. Okay. And so never mind. Forget it. I will try again tomorrow night. Sorry. Thank you for pointing it out to me. What's your name again, son? What kind of car you drive? Thank you, everyone. Okay, we'll see you next time. No, no applause tonight. I screwed up.